We're gonna see how many W's I can fit in this sentence. Welcome to the wonderful, wacky, wizardy, worth-watching Wednesday of Wassum. Alright, hello and welcome to this episode of Worth Watching Wednesdays. Now, we're going to be doing something a little different with this episode and with the episodes from here on out, see if you guys like it. What I'm going to be doing is spending the first half of the episode bringing you some piece of interesting movie news that just happened, today or this week at some point, and then I'll spend the second half recommending one of my favorite movies too. So you're going to get essentially what you got in previous episodes, but you're also going to get some news, get some updates, get some things like that on what's going on in the movie industry right now. Alright, so to start us off for today is a little bit of movie news regarding the upcoming film Star Wars Episode VII directed by J.J. Abrams. Now, there has been a ton of media attention about this movie recently. It's just a storm of rumors flying back and forth about casting and direction and plot and everything. No one really knows a lot about the movie, but there's just tons of rumors being put out there. So when I first saw this little bit of information, I kind of was like, I think this is just another one of those rumors. But this turns out to actually be legitimate information, and that is that Saoirse Ronan, the girl who was in Hannah, The Lovely Bones, the host, she is read for a role in the J.J. Abrams Star Wars Episode VII. Now, this doesn't mean that she's attached to the movie in any way whatsoever, but what it does mean is that you can verifiably say that Saoirse Ronan actually read for or was, looked for a part for Star Wars Episode VII. Now, in the wake of some questionable casting news recently in other films, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This actually came as a bit of a pleasant surprise to me because I actually really like Saoirse Ronan. I mean, she's been in some subpar movies over her career, but I think that she's actually a good actress who can play a variety of characters. And the other thing I really like about this news is that it shows sort of the casting process of the movie, that they're not chasing after all A-list big-name actors right now. Because I think that's a problem that's been hampering a lot of recent movies, is the fact that there's this search for star power, and the more A-listers we can cram into this movie, the more people are going to come see it. And in a way, it's great, because, they got there for a reason, they're big stars, they know what they're doing, but on the other hand, it kind of sucks you out of the movie, because you go, oh, that's Samuel L. Jackson, and that's Leonardo DiCaprio, and that's Brad Pitt. You don't see the characters as much, and so the fact that they're pursuing Saoirse Ronan, who I've seen in enough movies to know that she's a good actress, but I haven't seen in everything, and she's not, this huge household name, I'm happy with that, because it shows that they're looking for people who are going to be good actors, but are also not going to just be all household names people are going to instantly know. So that's our little bit of news for the week. Now onto my recommendation for the week, and it could be something completely related to what I just talked about, but it's not going to be because I just roll that way. The movie I'm going to recommend to you this week is Castaway, starring Tom Hanks. This movie was directed by Robert Zemeckis, one of his all-time great films. It has to deal with this FedEx worker who is on this plane delivering a package, and the plane crashes and he's marooned on an island and is there for multiple years. I think it's 3 or 4 years that he's there. And he just really has to learn how to survive and adapt to that, because it's a survival castaway movie. But I think it's a really, really good survival castaway movie in the fact that you don't only get to focus on his time at the island, because eventually he is rescued and brought back to mainland. Spoiler alert, I guess. And when that happens, you get to see him trying to reconnect with all the people in his life who thought he was dead, who, just moved on with their lives, and he's kind of stuck in 3 or 4 years ago, because that was the last contact he had with anyone, and you get to see the aftermath of him being trapped on this island, which I think was a really neat way of doing things, and you get to see kind of the whole story a little bit more than you would otherwise. The movie also has a fantastically terrifying plane crash scene in there, where it's just heading down into the ocean, and they're all screaming, people are flying against the walls of the plane, and crazy stuff is happening. It's an intense scene, and it's an intense movie. And of course, if it wasn't for Castaway, we would never have the famous line, "Wilson!" Because Tom Hanks befriends a volleyball while he's on the island because he needs some kind of companion and there's no one else there, so he just sort of makes himself a little prop to talk to. And it's done in such a way that it doesn't seem like the behavior of a crazy person, because it's kind of like, yeah, if I was trapped on an island by myself for who knows how long, I'd kind of want at least a thing there that I could talk to and have conversations with, so that I wasn't completely isolated feeling. So the movie wins really high marks for me. I liked the movie. It's a very depressing film overall because, him coming back into civilization is not easy and things aren't the same as when he left. So yeah, it has kind of a depressing down note of an ending to it, but it's a good movie overall. I really like it. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. You should check it out. I hope you enjoy it. Alright, so that's it for this episode of Worth Watching Wednesdays. Let me know what you think of the new format. Leave a like down below if you like the video. Subscribe if you want to see more. Leave a comment down below of what you'd like to hear me review / recommend next week. And I will see you next week. Have a good weekend. Goodbye.